show. Folks, my next guest tonight is an author, the vice chair of the Clinton Foundation, and both of her parents have won the popular vote for the U.S. presidency. Please welcome Chelsea Clinton. Nice to see you again.
Great to be here. Thanks, Stephen.
Now, your family has a particularly unique relationship emotionally to the fact that Donald Trump is president of the United States.
Stephen, I think that a lot of us have pretty unique emotional relationships to the fact that Donald Trump is president.
How does your family cope with that level of anxiety that Donald Trump I think wants to generate every day? I have my own way, but I gave up liquor for Lent. So, how do you guys talk about this at home? Like, come on, spill the tea. How do you guys talk about Donald Trump? Like, give me a conversation recently you've had about the president.
Well, goodness.
That's the strongest language you use.
Well,
Gee willikers.
We just talk about, like, what should we be doing today? I mean, which organizations and candidates should we be supporting? How do we both stand in opposition to the degradation of norms and institutions, as well as kind of the retrograde policies around voting rights, around women's rights, around transgendered rights? And what do we do to keep pushing forward for the world that both my parents have been working on since before I was born, and that I'm really, eager to help build for my children, for your children, for future generations. And so, So, because, as you noted, the president, I think, thrives on anxiety and insults. There's just always so much to talk about. And because I think, unfortunately, this administration is kind of the collision of cruelty and incompetence. There's so much to just talk about for what's happening even beyond the president in Washington on any given day.
Does your entire family speak in paragraphs? Because that was really beautifully, those were a little beautiful paragraph.
Well, I don't know. Right now,
because it doesn't get any sharper or crisper than that at home.
Well,
Nobody throws the glass of Chardonnay at the TV ever.
It's just not really productive.
It's not productive, but it feels so good.
No, I mean, I
Come
feel
on, your
better.
family has some weaknesses. Show one. Come on, be human here. What have you yelled about?
I mean, I just would rather go to a protest or convince more people to go vote in November. Like, I don't know.
There has been some criticism of Ivanka Trump recently, of her role in the White House, or whether or not she should have a role in the White House. You were 20 when your father left office, but certainly you understand what it's like to be the child of the president. Were you asked to fix Middle East peace at any point?
No, that never came up. I mean, we talked about my homework.
Yep. Do you have any sympathy for her? Because she's an adult who has taken on an official role in the White House. Do you think she's fair game for criticism, or is she just another presidential child?
I think anyone who works for the president is certainly should expect to be scrutinized for whatever decisions not only she or he is making, but whatever decisions the White House is making on any given day.
Are you guys still friends?
Well, thank you for applauding for that. I think that is an important point. I've not spoken to her in a long time.
But you were friends before the election.
Absolutely. It's clear, though, that she has supported policies and decisions that I don't agree with. I've been very vocal about my opposition to President Trump and this White House's...
Could you call her up and say, hey, maybe no war with North Korea or anything like that?
I mean...
You are friends, so you could...
I mean, I certainly am just really sad that we're at a point in time where that even has to be said.
Yeah.
I mean, that we're at a point in time where we have a president who has such kind of callous disregard for kind of thoughtful, coherent, kind of expert-advised foreign policy is something I would hope, regardless of where we sit on the political spectrum, we could agree on.
I would wish we could, too. I would wish we could, too. Well, let's talk about the future.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's talk about the future. You had a book called She Persisted, and now you have a new children's book called She Persisted Around the World. Who is it? Who's this book for, and what are the stories you're telling?
Well, thank you, Stephen. I was so struck by the resonance that She Persisted had when it came out last year, which tells the stories of 13 American women who've really inspired me over time, that I wrote She Persisted Around the World to tell even more stories of more women that I find inspiring. And so I hope that it will resonate with young readers, girls and boys alike. The stories from Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, who opens the book. She was a Mexican author and advocate who was the first person in the Americas to argue for a girl's equal right to an education. To J.K. Rowling, who was told countless times that no one ever wanted to hear the story of Harry Potter. And John's eyes just got really wide. True. A dozen publishers turned down the first manuscript, and now Harry Potter is the single best-selling series in the history of the world.
Oh, yeah. It's not The Lord of the Rings, but it's very, very good. It's
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much
Stephen,
for being
thank
here.
you so
Good to
much for
see you
having me.
again.
Thank you.
She Persisted Around the World is on sale tomorrow. Chelsea Clinton, everybody. We'll be right back with Martha Stewart. Stick around.